All right, welcome back. This is episode number 7 of Hitting Hard. I am your host, Christian. Um, how's everybody doing on this Friday evening? If your name is Luis Severino, you're probably doing pretty well. Luis Severino got inked to a brand new contract earlier today. The Yankees bought out his arbitration years. They gave him 4 years and $40 million and a team option for a fifth year where he'll be getting about $15 million. So that will take out his first year of free agency. You would have to imagine that the Yankees are going to pick up that option. If you're watching live right now, yes, the beard is out. Spring training started on Wednesday. That means, I'm with the Yankees on this one. The winter beard is it's going tomorrow. So camp open for the Yankees, and camp's gonna open for me as well. I got to get my ass back in the gym. I've been very inconsistent with working out, but that's what happens when you get older. When I got married 3 years ago, I was really in the best shape of my life, and when you got a goal to work towards, you're more motivated. And not to say that once I got married, I was just like, I'm done working out. I kept with it for a while, and as you get older, your body doesn't agree with you as well as it did when you were younger, and I suffered a couple of injuries, kept me out of the gym a while, I try to get back, and, whatever. You guys don't want to hear about that. What you want to hear about is Luis Severino. Excellent move by the Yankees, locking up Sevy, buying out his arbitration years. This way we don't have to deal with what we're dealing with if you're a Met fan with Jacob deGrom. You're going to get one of the best pitchers in the American League for the next 4 years for $10 million. I know some of you have this negativity towards Sevy because he was so bad in the second half of the year, which is understandable. The guy was terrible in the second half of the year, but you got to let it go. Honestly, you just got to let that go. We've seen him be dominant. He had a second half of 2017 where he was dominant. He had a first half of 2018 where he was dominant. Now 2019 comes around. The tip and pitches, the fatigue, whatever it is, whatever excuse that the Yankees and Sevy are going to give you, no more. Now we got to find out if Sevy is a true, legit ace. And even if he's not, and I believe that he is, I firmly believe that Luis Severino is turning 25 years old. So many people want to give up on this guy, and he's turning 25 years old. So come on, let's slow the roll there, right? Even if you don't think he's a legitimate ace in Major League Baseball, and he will never become a legitimate ace, what is he then? A 2? He pitched to a 3.39 last year, and that's what that second half that he had. So he settles in. He's a guy that pitches in a 3.3 range. Which is still a really good number too. You're still paying him $10 million a year. This is a ridiculous contract that the Yankees just signed this guy to. There's nothing to hate about it. If anybody is out there on social media complaining about the deal that the Yankees gave Sevy today, that's all they want to do. That's their goal in life, is to just complain about things. Because there is not a negative way to look at what happened with the Yankees and Luis Severino today. The guy got 4 years, $40 million, team option, fifth year for $15 million. So you're going to get Sevy at a discount. And if he maxes out that potential, where, as I tweeted earlier today, where he could legitimately become one of the 2 or 3 best pitchers in all Major League Baseball in the next year or so, you got this guy locked up for 5 years. Ridiculous. So, great move by the Yankees. Sevy gets the money. He gets some security now. No more arbitration nonsense for Sevy. The Yankees are going to probably pick up that option in a few years. So, great move by the Yankees. What I wanted to talk about also was Jacob deGrom, so we'll tie that in now. Jacob deGrom got $17 million, up from $7 million last year from the Mets. And now, he wants more money. The guy had an all-time great season last year. Is Jacob deGrom underpaid? Yes. In the scheme of being an ace pitcher in Major League Baseball, Jacob deGrom is underpaid. But here's what the problem is with me and Jacob deGrom right now. I cannot hear you even hint at the fact that you might dial it back and not give 100% if you don't get what you want. You can't do that. You're getting paid $17 million a year to play a game that all of us dream and wish that we had the talent to even sniff the minor leagues. And you are pitching in Major League Baseball at the height of, at the highest level for $17 million a year. Also money that most of us will never sniff in our lifetimes. And you're gonna sit here and insinuate that maybe you won't pitch more than 6 innings. You'll put an inning limit on yourself. I can't hear that, and I'm not even a Met fan. I can't hear that. I can't hear that from a pro athlete getting that type of money to play a game that I love that I don't have the talent to play. This guy's living out my dream. Now that's where these guys don't get it. In their fraternity, in their brotherhood of professional athletes, yeah, it might make sense to them, but who your paying customers are? Me, Joe Schmo, who can't play Major League Baseball, who will never make $17 million in his lifetime. And you're complaining that you're going to withhold performance if you don't get what you want. I can't hear that. That's a guy I don't want on my team, no matter how good he is. What if the Mets are in a pennant race this year and this guy's approaching 108 innings and he's like, I'm good. I didn't get my money. I'm good. You don't want that. And this could be, maybe Jake's agent, trying to coerce the Mets into doing something, which is all well and dandy, but you don't say that out loud. You're coming to spring training. You're Jacob deGrom. You can't be saying that type of thing. I'm sorry. I can't hear that. Honestly, I can't hear that. And it sucks because, even not as a Met fan, but as a baseball fan, and you want to see the best of the best, doing their thing. And, you got a guy like Jacob deGrom hinting that maybe he might, limit his innings, and Bart Scott was on CMB earlier this week when this happened, and he's looking at it from the eyes of a pro athlete, which is fine, and I get, I understand, your earning power is only your potentials there is in a short window, but you got to understand something. We're your customers, okay? We can't honestly, you gotta sit back and think about it for a second, right? You can't tell somebody that is trying to take their wife or their husband, their 2 kids, whatever, to a ball game where they might be out $300 in tickets before they even walk in the door, parking, hot dogs, souvenirs. Where this guy, that might be the one time this guy gets to take, or this woman gets to take their family to a game all year, and it's a big expense to them, but they love the game. They want to do this for their families. And you're making $17 million a year bitching and complaining that you might not give 100% this year. That's not a good look, honestly. I can hear from all the former athletes or current athletes in the world saying, oh, he got to get what he's got to get, which is great. And get your money, bro, but don't withhold performance. That is my message right here. Don't withhold performance. You're screwing your paying customers. The fans of the ball club, the ones that are buying your jerseys, the ones that are, putting your fat head on their wall. Those are the real victims here. You're making $17 million a year playing a kid's game. And you're telling your customers, if I don't get 30, screw all you because, I'm only going to pitch until August this year because, I got to go to free agency in 2 years. It sucks. I get it. I understand the the way that the collective bargaining agreement is and the way these teams have control over these players. But you can't come out, even if that might be the case and that's something you're thinking, you can't come out and say that. That's not right to your customers. That's not right to the fans, the people that support you. Okay? You might be a rich guy even if you were the most hated person in the world. But the Mets are going to be inclined to do something for you because of how beloved you are. And you're going to go out there and tell those people that love you, yeah, I'm not going to give you 100%. You can't say that shit. I'm sorry, you just can't. That's just me. So, I'm glad the Yankees got this crap out of the way with Sevy so we don't, as Yankee fans, have to hear about this. Arbitration's bought out. Dude's got his $40 million. Boom. Let's go. Let's get Sevy on the mound, and let's get him to be that ace, that top-level guy that that I know I am, and I would hope that a majority of Yankee fans still believe he can be. So, what's other news in Yankee land today? So, let's go over a couple things. The manager, Aaron Boone, was on with Mike Francesa earlier today. Okay. I didn't catch the whole interview, caught most of it. I guess, newsworthy thing would be that in, the Aaron Boone way of saying things, it's Luke Voigt's job. I guess most of us kind of figured that. And, this is the end of the road for Greg Bird. Boone said it the way Boone says things. He didn't say, this is it for Greg Bird. But, we've all heard enough of Aaron Boone to know when he's trying to get his point across. So, we've talked about this ad nauseum on this show, on the NYY Sports Talk podcast. If it's close, even if it's close, I'm still thinking Greg Bird is going to be that guy, better defensively, and the Yankees need a left-handed bat. And even though Boone spoke very, very highly of Voit, and he thinks he's an everyday player in Major League Baseball, which, you still got to expect him to say that. Like, he's not going to come out and say, even if he believes in his heart, oh, yeah, Luke Voit was a fluke. He's not going to say that. But, yeah, the other thing is, I guess it was a little telling that Boone said that the idea mainly would be for Tulowitzki to play like 2 out of 3 games. That they didn't really want to push him when Francesa asked him if he was going to play what would be a number, 5 games a week. He said maybe that one might have been pushing him a little bit. You're playing, most weeks you're going to be playing 6 or 7 games, You have an off day, you play 6. You don't have an off day, you're playing 7. You're only going to play this guy, 4 times a week? I don't know about that. Because then, you're looking, because it didn't seem when Mike asked Boone where DJ LeMahieu was going to play, it seemed like second and third were the 2 main places they wanted to play DJ LeMahieu. He did mention a little bit of first. He said he didn't really say that DJ was going to play shortstop. And then he said Todd Walker. Boone had a little bit of a brain fart. He meant Neil Walker. He said he does hope he doesn't have to get to that, but it could be like a Todd Walker situation. And he could use DJ in the outfield a little bit. But what are you going to do in those other days? You're going to shift Gleyber over? I don't like doing that. Either Gleyber Torres is your shortstop or is your second baseman. The guy made a ton of errors last year, and he's a better defensive player than the amount of errors that he made last year. If you see how smooth he is out there, but he made errors trying to be a little too flashy at short, and he made errors that a rookie makes at second base. So he's either just got to be your second baseman and learn to be a major league second baseman, or he's got to be your shortstop. I don't like this idea that they might possibly have Gleyber play second 4 days a week and short 2 days a week. He's got to be one or the other. Personally, it's hard to think. It's hard to kind of figure what you're going to get out of Tulowitzki this year. Yankees like where he's at. They don't want to push him, though. That's according to Boone. Boone says it's the first time in years that he's been healthy. It's just going to be about the body now responding to doing all his physical activity, which is which is a big thing. He's always an older guy now. I just spoke about this 10 minutes ago. Your body doesn't recover the way that it used to when you were younger. And I'm not a pro athlete, and I can attest to that. I threw out my back, I had a hernia, blah blah blah. Just simple things like like that you don't recover from as fast. That happens to you when you're older. You can't get to the gym, and these guys are high level athletes, and especially now this dude hasn't played baseball in 2 years. And the Yankees are concerned about even though he's healthy, how he's going to bounce back from that. So we'll see. If there's anything left in there, that's a major steal for the Yankees. We'll have to see, what he's got left in the tank. Again, I keep saying this. I said it with CC Sabathia, and that's another thing. It looks like CC might start the season on a DL, maybe. It makes sense. Why, why rush him along when you don't have to, especially earlier in the season. Most seasons with the off days because of opening day and everything, you don't really need a fifth starter for a couple of weeks. So no need to rush him into things. It's like I was saying with here we go. When I was saying with CC, it's the same thing I'll say with Tulowitzki. You're only looking to get to June, July with him. That's it. You get CC through July or through June into July. Boom, you make a trade. The Yankees are going to make a trade for a starting pitcher. I think we all can kind of anticipate that happening. Yankees get Tulo through June, July. Boom, Didi's going to be back. Now, you don't know what you're going to get with Didi, but according to Boone, everything's going according to plan right now. So it kind of seems like he might be on the front end of that timetable instead of the back end of that timetable. Started throwing. Boone said it won't be too long before he's taking swings. So we'll see how Didi moves along with things. But it's interesting, right? Didi Gregorius Tommy John surgery. Where's Didi Gregorius? He's in camp. Jacoby Ellsbury, plantar fasciitis. Where's he? In Arizona? The Yankees told this dude not to even show up to camp. Now, was I joking earlier in the week when I tweeted that the Yankees just throw 5 or 7 different injuries into a hat, pick one out? Every 6 weeks they tell Jacoby Ellsbury, that's what you have? Yeah, I was joking, but maybe there's something to that. Camp is getting ready to open. Jacoby Ellsbury all of a sudden has plantar fasciitis. I don't know. You tell me. There's something going on there. And you got guys like Didi who's injured. Didi's not going to play until June, July. He's in camp. Ellsbury's not even going to show up. There's got to be something going on there. Honestly. There's got to be something more that meets the eye because you got to figure that Jacoby Ellsbury will get much better treatment for this injury, air quotes, injury, for those that are listening that can't see the air quotes. He will get much better treatment for his injury in Tampa with the Yankees doctors and training staff than he is chilling out, taking peyote, and rubbing his ass with a cactus in Arizona. I'm just saying, there's something to that, people, okay? There is something to the fact that the Yankees told him not to even show up to camp until March. My co-host in the NYYST podcast, Chris, is very excited that Jacoby Ellsbury has come up with a new injury because it almost guarantees the fact that he won't be on the opening day roster and he will not have to, and Chris will not have to get an ass tattoo. Okay? So, I don't know. You guys tell me if you think I'm a little crazy thinking there might be a little bit of a conspiracy theory here, okay? Injured players usually go to camp. They usually don't have a press release where the team says, stay the fuck home, okay? That's usually not how it works. What did the Yankees do with this guy? I mean, we talk about it all the time. What do the Yankees do with Jacoby Ellsbury? Do they just eat the $42 million and say go away? Are they going to try to get through one more season, just injury after injury after injury, get the insurance money, and then cut him, release him next year where you only have to eat $22 million? I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I just think that this new, or it's not really new, I think he had it before. God only knows. He's probably had every type of injury under the sun. Mike Francesa had a great line about Ellsbury earlier in the week when this news came down. I just can't remember it now. It was really good too. So if you go back and listen to Mike's archives from I think it was Wednesday. It was a great line. It was just like, it was something to the effect of everybody's got their thing and Ellsbury's thing is being injured. So that's pretty much it. One of the all-time worst contracts that the Yankees have ever signed, or any team has ever signed. So, people laugh when I bring it up, but you wonder why the Yankees aren't trying to get into bed with guys, for these long-term deals, and they're a little hesitant in it. Here's your answer. It's Jacoby Ellsbury. Okay, so there you go. So if you are listening for the baseball, we're now done with baseball. We're going to do a few minutes on the WWE with the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. So, it's not a great-looking card. I mean, the Elimination Chamber match will probably be pretty good. But other than that, the men's for the WWE title, it's not that I don't think that the women's Elimination Chamber match will be any good for the tag team titles. I just, there's the talent involved just doesn't do it for me. Like Tamina and Nia Jax. I'm not a fan of either one of those. You got a makeshift team of Carmella and Naomi. I mean, that was just because they don't have enough teams. So you're bringing in these tag team titles, and you don't even have enough teams to compete for them. So, I don't know. I'm all for the women's evolution in WWE. I want Ronda, Rousey, Charlotte, and yes, we'll get to this in a second, Becky Lynch main eventing WrestleMania. Last year, it was called Evolution. That pay-per-view was a great show. So I'm all for that. But to have tag team titles for the women, just for the sake of having tag team titles for the women, is not a good thing. You can clearly see by the way that the Elimination Chamber match is set up that they don't have enough teams to go around. If you got to force feed Carmella and Naomi together. But we will talk about the women's main event at WrestleMania, which was changed on Monday night to Charlotte versus Ronda. It was supposed to be Becky versus Ronda. The WWE sometimes falls into shit. They did with the Daniel Bryan. Now they did with Becky Lynch. And then if it's not their thing, they kind of try to sabotage it. And they couldn't really... They tried to do it with Daniel Bryan, but the fans wouldn't let them. So he had this big win at WrestleMania. And they were going to do it eventually. They were going to have Brock Lesnar murder him at SummerSlam of that year. But unfortunately, Daniel Bryan got injured before that. Had to relinquish the title. So, it kind of took care of itself. But now it's happening with Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch got super over, popular. The man thing, the attack on the Raw Women's Division before Survivor Series, the bloody face, akin to what happened with Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania 13. So there's a lot of parallels there. She wins the Royal Rumble match after tapping out, by the way, to Asuka earlier at the Royal Rumble, which you could have, if you want. And then here's the thing now. You have Asuka tap Becky Lynch. And where's Asuka been? Nobody's seen her. And you read a report earlier today is because the WWE didn't want to have a match for her at the Elimination Chamber. She's one of your champions. At least have her come beat some jabronis on TV. Have her show her face. You had to tap out Becky Lynch. You could have had Becky just pass out from the pain, instead of tapping out. But, these are the things that WWE does. They try to throw cold water on things. And then... the knee injury and now the suspension and blah, blah, blah. And now here's what I didn't like about Raw on Monday night. You had Becky being forced to apologize to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. And she did, meekly, and and she was like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Vince comes and takes the match away from her anyway. If the ultimate goal is to get to Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte... and you have to put in Charlotte and take out Becky temporarily, the way to do it is you want an apology out of Becky Lynch, right? And I know I'm not the first person to say this. A lot of people say it, but I'm going to say it now anyway. you want Becky to apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't kick your ass worse than I did the first time. Boom, punches Stephanie, armbar, slaps Triple H, blah, blah, blah. Whatever you got to do. She's still, she still kept strong. She still got the. Yeah, Vince is still running the show. It was on Raw on Monday night. We're about to get to that music, man. Thank you for checking in. Anyway, so, she still kept strong. She still kept the badass. You want me to apologize? Screw you, authority. And then Vince comes out and says, whoa, you were told to do something. You didn't do it. Now I'm suspending you, taking away your WrestleMania moment. Boom, you're out. Charlotte's in. And then you can even, and I don't know why anybody doesn't bring this part up. And Charlotte should have won the Royal Rumble anyway because you stole Lana's spot and you technically illegally came in because, to me, Becky was number 31. She sat there the whole time until everybody was entered and then came in. So nobody brings up that part of the Royal Rumble. They just, they kind of ignore that. But these are all more logical steps to still have sympathy for Becky, keep Becky strong, but they ignore all of it. Why? Because the Golden Girl, Ronda, who, I noticed that there was a lot of hate towards Ronda recently, especially now that she was scheduled to go up against the chosen one amongst the fans. But I don't hate Ronda. I think if you look at it logically, for somebody that had barely any wrestling experience to come and do as good of a job as she's done in the past year, and yeah, she's not great on promos, and yeah, it throws her off when she doesn't get the reaction she anticipates, but, in the ring, she's still pretty damn good and deserving of one of the top female spots in WWE. You couldn't main event WrestleMania with just Becky and Charlotte. You needed Ronda Rousey. You needed that mainstream outside appeal that Ronda brings. So I'm not going to hate on her for that. And she's been putting in the work. You can see, she's doing her thing in the ring. So you can bring Vince out then at that point and say, as I said earlier, no, Becky, you didn't do what you were told. You attacked it. You attacked the COO and whatever title Stephanie has. You're out. Charlotte's in. Boom, right? But instead now they got Ronda trying to get her babyface sympathy back, saying, "No, I want Becky Lynch in the match because they want her to get cheered now because she's championing. I can't say it. She's campaigning. That's easier word for me to say." For the one that the fans want, which and good, put all the heel heat on Charlotte, which is great. She's as great as a bad woman, but, you're kind of stealing a little bit of Becky's thunder now. And if the rumors are true that Ronda's leaving after WrestleMania because she wants to start a family, which is great for her, and you got to respect that. Excuse me. You want to keep Becky at a certain level, not give it back to Ronda. Ronda's leaving, let her leave. Have her do what she's got to do in this match, and then that's it. But Becky and Charlotte are going to carry things, going forward. I just didn't like the way that was all handled on Raw. There was ways to get to that point without making Becky look like a loser, which she basically was made to look like. But as I said earlier, if WWE falls into shit with something, they, instead of just saying, "Oh, thank you," we fell into this, they kind of just want to take what people do with shit and flush it down the toilet. So, I don't know. You guys are watching live Friday night. Whenever this goes up on iTunes, I don't know. But for those that are still sticking around here, tomorrow we will be recording episode 100 of the NYY Sports Talk podcast. We are working on a very special surprise. No promises right now. Things are still moving and shaking a little bit, so we're trying to lock something down. We wanted to have a big surprise for episode 100. We're close, not quite there. We'll see what happens. Yeah. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, or if you're watching, still go to iTunes, subscribe to Hitting Hard. Please do me that favor and subscribe to this. leave me a rating and a review too. You can call me all the nasty names you want. At least, give me 5 stars on it, though. I know that it's maybe not the most smooth pod that you'll listen to, but I am recording this live, and it's not, it's not as relaxed as when you're just sitting there with a microphone, and the whole world isn't, can't just pop in and watch it any second. So, it's a little different feel than when we record the NYY Sports Talk podcast. But, follow me on Twitter at Christian_NYYST. And when you see me in the next episode, this will be gone. I have not shaved since the weekend before Halloween. And this is the longest I've ever gone without shaving. So, my wife has been asking me since Christmas, when are you going to shave? And I said, when the Yankees shave, I shave. And they shaved, so tomorrow it's going. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I'm sorry, guys. I promise you one day I will come up with a great signature goodbye for the show. But today is not that day. We'll see you in the next episode.